right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Justin Comer Show. I'm your host, of course, Justin Comer. It's the last day of July in 2019. I can't believe we're already here. I'll probably say that for every podcast, but wow, we're already over halfway done with 2019. And it felt like it just came, a couple weeks ago, doesn't it? A month ago. Feels like we're just getting started here. We just started 2019, and here we are almost done with it. A few more months ago, it'll start getting cooler, thank God. I'm kind of sick of the summer already. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sick of the summer. Even politically, it's been a crazy summer with a mass hysteria that's going on every single day, and how the left just can't get their ducks in a row. They've got to find racism around the corner everywhere, and summer's perfect. Everyone's out of school. People just, trying to do their thing, have a good time, have a good summer before they go back to school. The millennials are. And we find that it's been nothing but racism around the corner. Now, of course, you've probably kept up with the news recently about Trump's remarks over Baltimore. And guess what? They're entirely accurate. Are they racist? No. There was not a single racist thing that the president said about Baltimore. Which goes to tell you clear enough that the Democrats are the ones that are totally racist over this. I mean, if you can take something like that and saying that Baltimore's infested, which it is. I've been to Baltimore. I've driven through it. I've seen it. There's nothing special about that place. I'm sorry. I would not live there myself. But that place is rat-infested. Their own local news admitted that it was, and that the crime rate was the highest out of all the large cities, at least top three. They were one of the highest, if not the highest at some point, FBI's own statistics. And the FBI gets those statistics by local police departments submitting them to the local FBI. So that's from their own numbers, okay? Their own numbers. Elijah Cummings is a representative of the district that Trump was referring to and referred to him directly. I guarantee if he was white, the Democrats would still find a way to make a racist remark about it, because most of Baltimore inner city is black. And that area of Baltimore is not very well kept up, and it just goes to show you that the Democrats, whatever they touch, turns to hell, turns to total shit. Because all the inner cities now, I can't think of a major city that is Republican run off the top of my head. But if you can't comment, please let me know. I'll just look it up myself. But that just goes to show you that, the Democrat-run cities, the major ones that we know of, like LA, San Francisco, Detroit, Baltimore, Miami, things like that, they're all slums. Miami looks so pretty on TV and everything by the beach and all that, but Miami sucks. Miami really isn't that pretty. I've been to Miami many times. It's not the greatest place to go. Miami's not very appealing. South Beach is nice, but I guess that's an area the Democrats don't touch, right? Who knows? It's all a joke. I'm telling you what, these people will find anything. Today, from the National Archives, I think Nixon's library, someone dug up old, like I said a couple weeks ago, but who freaking knows? It probably just happened yesterday. With how much the media lies so much and how much they hate the president and think he's a racist. They dug up old tapes of Nixon and Reagan talking, and Reagan calling Africans monkeys because they voted to in the United Nations to recognize China. And Reagan was very Taiwanese, pro-Taiwan. Not Taiwanese, but pro-Taiwan. He was white. And he was anti-UN, which, respectably, I am too. The United Nations is a disgusting globalization wing. And very anti-Semitic. But no one talks about that. You can't talk about the United Nations and their problems because you can only talk about Trump and his problems, and the Democrats don't have any problems. We can't talk about the fact that there's a giant cabal sitting right there on the New York shore, just, watching the skyline all green. Anyway, I digress because of how disgusting that thing is. Um, they had to bring up that of Nixon and Reagan talking years ago in the 70s just to prove how much of a racist Trump is somehow. Somehow. Like, look, see, we got two former presidents talking, racist remarks. And sure, what he said was probably, I mean, you definitely don't want that to come out. It definitely was a little racist. However, the fact that that's not the point. Okay, that happened in the 70s, okay? The fact that they're just now letting that out kind of spills of how much people didn't care about it, because it was definitely in the archives. They had it. It was audio recordings of the president and Nixon. I mean, Reagan. Then he was a California governor at the time, and they have Nixon talking to him over the phone, talking about how much they hated the African nations voting that in, and they picked the perfect time to do that and somehow justify it that the president's racist. The 45th president now, from the 37th president, is racist. I'm so sick of hearing this stuff on even talk radio. I can't stand it. It gets on my nerves. I don't know about you, but I mean, if I just hear it on replay, loop after loop, I know I'm even talking about it now, but I'm talking about it because I'm just demonstrating to y'all how much I hate hearing about it. I hate hearing about it so much. The Democrat debates for last night, everything's racist, everything's misogynist. So, I mean, they're those click words, just clickbait words in your face to get the dumbest voters the dumbest people that don't know a damn thing that's going on. They know you're stupid. They know what they're doing. You think Elizabeth Warren just sits up there and doesn't know what the hell she's talking about? That woman's smarter than she looks, people. And she looks like an idiot. She looks like a rat. I'm sorry, I don't really go to looks, but I mean, that woman, can you fathom seeing her as president for the next 4 years? If she does 2 terms, God help us all. We will be in the shitter. If any of those people do 2 terms, I can't believe it. I only got to watch, I'm not going to lie, so I only got to watch half an hour of the debates last night. And what I saw, they're talking about the healthcare. What I saw was insane. They were eating their own like crazy, especially Sanders and Warren. All the rest of them Democrats was like sharks just swarming at them. There was blood in the water. You could smell it through your TV. It was all over the place. And they just attacked the 2 big frontliners up there. Big time. Buttigieg had a big bug on his face, on his forehead. I saw that. I kid you not. You know what's funny, people? I saw that last night, and I go to check the news this morning, and I'll be damned. There's a damn. I know when I saw it, I was like, okay, that looks like a bug. I was like, it looks like that's not right. Like something messed up. I don't know. It looks like he just smushed. And I thought it was a bug. I knew it, and I was like, it's gonna fly off his head, but it wasn't. It was actually smushed to his head. And I'll be damned. I checked the news this morning. What does it say? A damn bug's on his forehead. I was like, man. But I'm sure a lot of people thought about that too. I thought it was just kind of ironic, to be honest. But they were just eating their own. Everything's racist. See, that's what happens when you start going, spewing identity politics rhetoric everywhere. That's what happens. You kind of start to eat your own. When you start getting socialist ideas, all the socialists start wanting power. They start eating their own. They're like, no, that's not a good idea. At least some of the Democrats up there, the moderates, thank God there's still some moderates around that don't want that hardcore Medicare for all. Bernie Sanders is a socialist that wants your money, wants your private property, wants everything. He doesn't want any private. He wants government running everything. And wants to decriminalize the borders, just like Warren. They want to decriminalize crossing the border illegally. I mean, that'll just everyone come right in, open borders, George Soros, New World Order stuff. Just get Agenda 2030 going today. You know what I'm saying? These people are so hardcore to the left that there's almost no coming back from it. There's some the moderates up there were at least somewhat contained. But, it's funny that Marianne, oh God, what's her last name? Williamson, right? Checking right now. Yes, Williamson. Okay, that woman cracks me up sometimes, I'm not going to lie. Because, the one thing I do like that she talks about is the GMO stuff. I mean, that's totally right. That we do need to get that straightened out. We do need to get that taken care of. And the one thing Bernie did say right last night was about Amazon not paying taxes. Hey, you want to talk? I mean, that's a lot of taxes. Amazon's not. That's a lot of money Amazon owes in taxes. Corporate taxes. That's legal. Private income tax is not legal. That's not even a law. People don't know that stuff. It's just corporate tax. That's what it's for. It's corporate. People weren't designed to get taxed. The Constitution wasn't written to tax people. Taxation was actually pretty much the whole principle of being independent. And here we are being slaves to taxation. I digress. I'm going to go off on a history tangent. If I don't, that's what a section of the Tea Party was for. Even though most of it was Freemasonry. But that's a whole different ballgame right there. A lot of it was Freemasons. The first third party was the anti-Freemason movement. I don't know why I'm going off on Freemasons right now. God, I'm sorry. This is just how my brain works. If I don't spit it out now, it'll get clogged, and I just won't stop. I just won't stop. It's just, but see, it kind of proves my point a little bit too. People don't know history. People don't know what other governments. I mean, the fact that we were founded on straight independence from very, very little government interference in anything. The government even shouldn't be running insurance. Social Security is going to run out. We want to expand Medicare when it's what? Part of the big three: Medicare, Social Security, and Medicaid, that just bankrupt us like crazy. It's over half the budget. The complete budget. I'm talking the entire U.S. federal government budget. It's like 56%. Some outrageous. It's in the trillions, I think, now. It's like 1.4 trillion, I think. I'm just going off memory. I'm probably just downgrading it because that's what the human psyche does. Naturally. But I'm probably just downgrading to how severe this is. And they want to expand Medicare for all. First of all, you got to be 65. Think about raising the retirement age, which might help, but it's just a Band-Aid, y'all. It's not going to keep the real problem from eliminating itself. We've got a big mess coming up the next decade with Medicare and Social Security that it's gonna wipe us all. I mean, that alone will just tumble the economy. If we could shrink that down to at least 30% of the budget, I mean, that would be such a huge deal. But the fact that, baby boomers are becoming older, the millennials, there's less of us now, there's more old people, there's way less kids being born now. We're not going to be able to sustain Social Security like Lyndon Johnson thought we could in the 60s. That's not going to happen. Lyndon Johnson did that to expand government power also. Depend on the government to give you financial income from FICA taxes. That was designed to destroy us, okay? And that was not supposed to last forever. The elitists saw that depopulation was going to be a real effort. Scientific dictatorship. Medical dictatorship. Tyrannical medical, industry. They saw that was going to be a real thing in the near future, and they planned for this. And then financially used the wing of the Social Security to destroy it economically in a grand scale because it's so big of a monster now. It's almost, once it falls, y'all, we're going to all feel that. Everyone's going to feel that. Everyone's going to feel that. Then they'll raise taxes on the middle class. The president, thank God, hasn't done that yet. No taxes have been raised on the middle class, thank God. But Elizabeth Warren admitted last night, yes, that's what she wanted to do. She wants to raise taxes on the middle class. I can't believe Beto O'Rourke said he didn't want to. Thank God. That's probably the most rational thing that man said I've heard him say ever. Don't raise taxes on the middle class. You can't. These people just want to crumble us to death. They want to squish us under their boot. Government boot. That's what it's a steel toe shoe kicking a square in the nuts with the word government on it. Kicking the individual man and woman, middle class, making $60,000 a year or so, $60,000 to $150,000, $200,000 a year, and they want to tax the living shit out of you to the point where you're broke as hell, and that's the entire ball game. You get rid of the middle class, you get rid of the economy as a whole. You get rid of individualism. Middle class defines the economy. Mortgages, loans. Although it's awful, loans are bank short. The founders didn't want to, take loans from big central banks and stuff that just fiat currencies and manipulate dollars like crazy. That's not what it's for. This is the founders are probably rolling in their graves today. Washington, Jefferson, maybe even Hamilton. Who knows? Hamilton wanted to push that. He was an elitist. He wanted to push that shit too. He wanted that garbage on us, man. He wanted that private federal bank. A centralized bank. And that's what we have, and that's why we're in such turmoil. Nixon wasn't the best president. I understand. And sure, maybe he did make racist remarks today. But I'm telling you now, we're being distracted by these games, by these political games. CNN, no one's asking the serious questions of people. How are we going to fix the debt? What's the real danger? What about AI? What about nuclear warfare? We have more nuclear weapons now than ever in the history of Earth. And they're trying to start war with Russia and Iran. And I mean, what are we doing here? North Korea is still firing off missiles. We can wipe them off the map still, but it's still a danger to Japan. NATO, no one's paying their fair share. No one's funding NASA. It says, there's real issues. We could allocate so much money from big league government entities, arms, wings, like Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. Shrink that down to where people still don't pay their premiums for Medicare Advantage and stuff. That like it, I get it. For 65, keep it right there. And then allocate some of that money towards programs that we could actually use. The Obamas destroyed it by going towards, little private, social programs and stuff that didn't do anything. Welfare. It's all just welfare. It's all about just keeping government in your freaking house, in your life somehow. Too big to fail. But it's the complete opposite. It's so big it's going to fail. It has to fail. It will fail. It's designed to fail. And I feel sorry. I'm scared to have children. I'm scared to have children. I know we're depopulating. I know we're losing it. I know we're being swarmed by illegal immigrants and Africans in the third world countries. I get that. And they're having kids out the ass. They're having kids like crazy. Africa's population is supposed to explode. And you just watch, if you look at the population maps, all the populations are supposed to kind of get stagnant and even shrink in some levels. But Africa and Asia, the Middle East are just going to proliferate, expand with children. And we can't compete with that. We're not going to compete with that. The West is being destroyed. And we're over here talking about fake racist remarks that didn't even happen. That apparently the president said that he didn't say at all. He was talking about the rat problem in Baltimore. Baltimore has a serious problem. Washington, D.C. has rats. Hell, I wish to God my GoPro didn't die during the inauguration. Because the rats I saw running around D.C. were huge. Huge. Half the size of your keyboard. Of an average computer keyboard. Huge. There's trash everywhere. There's garbage. Granted, it was the inauguration, but still, the fact that there were just rats running around like it was dogs. Man, it's awful. Inner cities are disgusting. I don't see how people live in urban areas. And if you do live in an urban area, listen to this. I can't do it. I can't. I just don't understand how people can live in deep areas like that, surrounded by all that crap, all the pollution. My God, I can't do that. I can't. It's just so disgusting to me. New York City's garbage. You ever walk through New York City? My God. It's funny. They don't ever look at they don't ever film the ground in New York City. They don't ever look at what the streets look like. It's disgusting. Everything's always under construction. There's trash all over the damn place. There's so many people that you can't keep up. You couldn't hire enough Disney street sweepers to clean New York on a full-time level. It's disgusting. I don't like that. It just feels like the spirit there's lost. It's like LA. LA's the same way. It's like their spirit's just lost. It's just dead. It's just not the same. Something's wrong. Something's missing. God's missing. That's a bubble. That's a bubble. That's not real life. It's a sphere of just not reality. It's Disneyland. That was the best way I ever heard someone say it on the radio years ago. It's the Disneylands of the world. These mega cities. You go out 20 miles. Hey, you're starting to hit kind of more suburban, real life shit. The real struggles, man. People suffering. You live in this warped bubble of New York City and just the lights and the glimmer and the this and the that. It's not real. I feel sorry for people. And I am scared to have kids because of where I know we're going. And I'm terrified. I'm even scared to see what the world's going to be like in 30 years. I don't know. Futurists have all these ideas, but who knows? The economy might be collapsed, and we might have nothing. The internet might be killed. Who knows? 5G would just, fry us all, and cancer's going to be just exploding. And I mark my words now. As 5G is coming, the next 10 years, we're going to see even more exponential explosions in cancer. Cancer's been growing like crazy. No one talks about these real issues. These are real issues. Cancer's been growing like crazy. We have all these foundations, all these walks for cancer and all that, but no one talks about the real causes. I don't care if you walk 20 miles. If you don't know, if you can't see that cancer's proliferated in the past 30, 40 years on an outrageous level. And the causes are easy. You just look back to what we didn't have 40 years ago and look at what we have now. The radiation, the GMO. And now we got 5G coming out. Even harder radiation. One's going to kill your sperm cell, fry your tissue, and give you cancer. Radiation gives you cancer. Even chemotherapy can give you more cancer. It's just, and all the people that have found cures for it have been destroyed. Actual potential cures for it. Cancer is money to these people. Cancer can be cured. It's been proven a couple times. But they're not going to, people. Big Pharma makes so much money from this. That's why I can't stand people that are pro-vaccine, but then they hate Big Pharma. Hey, dumbass, they're in the same fucking field. Sorry, I'm cussing. I don't care. They're in the same field. It's the same players, same ball game. It's all medical tyranny. That's what it is. It's hospital tyranny. It's Big Pharma just running your life. These are real issues. But then we want to sit back and talk about the president being racist somehow. Folks, I'll tell you what. Martin Luther King's daughter hangs out with the president every once in a while. She was just in his office the other day, I think. And even she's like, he's not racist. What the hell are you talking about? The man, Martin Luther King, who pioneered real civil liberties for blacks in this country. I guarantee you he would be behind the president today. And his daughter being behind it says enough. That says enough. What more do you need to know? Of course he's not racist. People are so stupid and so naive. And the people that think they understand how the NWO works, but then they're over there saying that Trump's still racist and Trump's still like Hitler and stuff like that. It's like, hey man, you got a long way to go. If you don't understand what's going on, man, I know Trump's not perfect. There's some things that I don't agree with him on, and I've said that before here in my podcast, and I'll say it all the time. Can't agree with everybody on everything, for the most part, but still. If you can't get that through your head, then what the hell can you get? It's very obvious what's going on. If you understand the New World Order, you understand not to trust mainstream media. You understand to read news with a critical eye, if you know what you're doing. If you can study it. You understand how to read history and analyze it. And learn history properly. There's skewed versions, there's real versions, okay? There's history can be manipulated. But real history, you can tell when it's real history. You can tell when there's a bias. Like that article today about Nixon and Reagan. The guy was just kept saying kept referring back to the president and stuff. I was like, oh, come on, dude. Come on, dude. Just tell some real history without the fucking president being involved. The 45th president. Hey, man, this was in the 70s. Both men are dead. Both presidents are gone. Okay, what does this have to do with right now? You could have pulled that up 2 weeks ago before Trump even said this, but you waited to the perfect time to do it today. Just find it a little ironic to me. Just a little ironic. The perfect time. It doesn't make any sense. And I don't understand how these people just blatantly believe what comes out of their mouth. I'm going to watch the debates tonight. I'm not going to make this a super long podcast. I'm going to watch the debates tonight. The Republican debates, I believe, are in September. I need to look that up, actually. I don't even know if they have an announcement date yet publicly when the actual debates are. I need to look that up. Don't listen to me right now. I need to look that up. But the second Democrat debates are tonight. I hope you watch. I'm going to watch. It's going to be pretty insane, I'm sure. Apparently last night was 2.5 hours. I couldn't watch the whole thing. I was helping my mom move. Had things going on that lasted all day. So today I got nothing else going on. I'm going to relax and just watch the debates and really analyze it. And I'll do another podcast hopefully sometime this week and give you my analysis of what I saw. Because just from the 30 minutes I saw last night about them talking about healthcare was just bad enough. They went on a half an hour rant about healthcare. How they want to get rid of your private healthcare. They want to get rid of all your Blue Cross Blue Shield, all your Allstate, all everything. They want to get rid of your health insurance and make the government pay for it and make you wait in line like Canada does for 8 hours to see a doctor, sometimes 2 days. And the government tells you what you can and can't do with your body, with your sickness. And I'm not talking about abortion. That's another body in your body. I'm talking about what your sickness is, what the government will cover and what it won't. It'll be bad, people. And people want to really have some kind of medical tyranny here. This is not going to happen. Elijah Cummings is an idiot. He's a moron. And he even admitted years ago that his district sucked. That Baltimore was a rat-infested place. It was trash-infested. It's garbage. Baltimore needs to get cleaned up. That can be a pretty city. When I drove through it, yeah, it's trash, but it's old and it can be nice. You see what I mean? It's right there by the water. I mean, it can be really nice. But the Democrats let things just slip away. They don't care. Everything they touch turns into a socialist hellhole. California is a perfect example. Baltimore is a perfect example. Chicago is a prime example. Crime rates skyrocket. Homelessness expedites. No guns, so crime is just, obviously going to go rampant. It makes it harder than Hades to get a gun in a big, left-wing run city, blue city. And then you're stuck in a place you can't afford with no jobs because they've all kicked him out because the taxes went up way too damn hard. And they all moved to China and Mexico, out of the country, and you're left with massive unemployment. That's what happens to these blue cities. That's what happens. So, ladies and gentlemen, big announcement I got. I found my GoPro, so I'm going to have video here soon, video podcast soon. I'm going to set up the room, make it look a little more screen friendly, and have video podcast soon, so it can be a little more entertaining. The audio is not bad, I guess. But that'll come in the very near future here. And we'll be having video podcasts, thank God. And we can be a lot more informed and more awake, and you can spread the word and tell your friends, and just, be an American, be a patriot, like I always say, and do your best to learn history and understand what's going on, and be knowledgeable and be informed. It makes you a much better person and makes you alive and awake, and less small things matter to you, and you just kind of understand the big picture, and you get right with God, and you just feel the Lord, and you just know what you're doing. Makes you more confident. Good things happen when you're awake and you can help others. Feels good to help others. Feels good. Not to be a selfish, Satan-worshipping leftist. that hates life and hates himself and hates everyone around them and thinks the world owes him, thinks government needs to run everything in their lives. That's not how life works. It's a very spoiled brats we're talking about, and a lot of them are millennials, and they're coming up, growing up in a world where government has been running their life from cradle to grave, essentially playing daddy, especially in the black community. It's pretty sad, but it's by design. So I will leave it right here. It's been half an hour. Gonna get some more work done here with the podcast behind the scenes, and hopefully I will see you guys on the other side with the video cast. You guys have a good rest of the week if I don't hear from you between now and then. And I have a website that will be coming up also. Oh, another big announcement. I'll be working on it this weekend, and we'll actually get an actual website coming up. So we can all look forward to that. You guys have a great rest of the day. Stay awake. Help each other. Help your peers. Help your friends. Help your family. Help your neighbor. And do what you need to do and keep the word going.